The King of the Great Reset. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article, because this affects all of us here in Australia. The Queen, well, she may abdicate this year. A major hint dropped that Her Majesty may stand down in 2020. And who does that leave as our king? Well, Prince Charles. And we all know he's a huge fan of the Great Reset. He is a big fan of the Great Reset. As an architect, I'm quite frustrated with the interventionist strategies he puts in place on architecture. He really supported some very draconian and methodical, housing guidelines, everything quite ordered. So, well, before we go there, I'll just bring up this page here, the Republican movement page here. If you're interested, guys, check it out. Check it out. I mean, the Queen's one thing, but do you want Charles in charge? Do you want Great Reset Charles running the show? So, Queen Elizabeth II may step down this year after a huge hint was dropped that Her Majesty may abdicate at some stage in 2020. The Queen has endured a difficult start to the decade amid issues with her son Prince Andrew, as well as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's resignation from senior royal family life. And new betting odds reveal that punters are now backing that Her Majesty will stand down, paving the way for Prince Charles's era of the monarchy. Bookmaker Coral has slashed odds on the Queen abdicating from 5-1 to 2-1. This leads to odds on Prince Charles becoming king at 1-5. But another alternative is Prince Charles allowing his son Prince William to take charge at 3-1. John Hill from Coral said the Queen has already delegated a lot of her responsibilities to Prince Charles, but many punters feel 2020 will be the year that Her Majesty abdicates from the throne. Although Prince Charles is next in line to take over, we have seen some bets on Prince William leapfrogging his father to become the next monarch. Yeah, this is just betting. How is this of any relevance? It comes as her son Prince Andrew is set to celebrate his 60th birthday on Wednesday. The royal has endured a tough few months amid speculation surrounding his friendship with a particular person, J.E., which I'm not going to say on YouTube. And now it appears his friends have been shunning the Duke of York and his birthday celebrations. His plans to celebrate his birthday with a private dinner at the Windsor residence of Royal Lodge. This is the residence he shares with his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson. However, the number of people expected to attend the bash is reportedly much smaller than first anticipated. According to the Mail Online, several guests who have been invited to the special celebration were unavailable to attend. It has prompted claims that Fergie has sent out a series of last-minute invitations to try and boost party numbers. The Mail Sebastian Shakespeare writes, "Nothing quite illustrates the Duke of York's dizzying fall from grace than the manner in which a number of his friends, or those he thought of as friends, have shunned the chance to join him tomorrow at his 60th birthday." Mr. Shakespeare suggests that the revelation prompted Fergie's assistants to send out additional invites. The invites say, "I've been asked by the Duchess of York and Princess Beatrice and Eugene to invite you to a private dinner at Royal Lodge 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday the 19th of February. Guests in attendance at his 50th, which was held over the weekend at St. James Palace, include model Karina Skepper, personal stylist Caroline Stansbury, and businesswoman Georgia Ashkenza." So this is really just an article about betting odds. It's an article about betting odds, probably an advertisement for those betting organizations. And one of the princes, falling out with his friend, which, well, is understandable. But the more concerning thing is, do we want the Great Reset Charles to be the new King of Australia? And what I'll do, now I will cut to some footage I did when we were watching the Great Reset, just of what Charles was saying and some of his opinions, his position. And just remember, this will be the new head, our king of Australia. So I'd chime up and obviously leave a few comments. in the footage. Let me know what you all think. But anyway, I'll link to the... what do you think? Do you think Australia should become a republic? Would you prefer us to be a republic? Or are you a fan of Prince Charles? What do you think? Is it time for us to strike out on our own? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And I will jump to that future Florian. Well, no, to that past Florian. I'll jump to that past Florian and you can see that footage.
Thank you, Adrian. And let me say I'm honored and absolutely delighted to have this opportunity to invite His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales to give his perspectives on why this reset is so important. Let me just say, and I think we're all well aware, His Royal Highness has spent the last, well, I've heard him say the last 30 years. I actually think it's more like the last 45 or 50 years, dedicating his efforts to really putting people and planet at the center of global value creation. So it is a great honor, Your Royal Highness, to hear from you now. And let me, without further ado, hand over to you.
So are we all going to become Republicans after this, guys? You know, our future king, everyone, our future king. Raise your stein.
Caroline, thank you very much indeed for your kind words. I think I have a feeling it's about 38 years now, probably, or something like that I've been trying. But these are unprecedented times. Every person on the planet has been impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. Our world came to a standstill, and it became clear that we did not have the answer or the mechanisms to address such an unprecedented global threat. The threats posed by this dreadful pandemic came upon us suddenly with very little warning. The threat of climate change has been more gradual, but its devastating reality for many people and their livelihoods around the world, and its ever greater potential to disrupt, surpasses even that of COVID-19. In addition to COVID-19, over the last few decades, we have seen bird flu, swine flu, Ebola, MERS, SARS, which are all zoonotic diseases originating in animals. More than half of all pathogens affecting humans come from animals. Changing the relationship between wild, domestic, and human animals makes pandemics more likely, which is why we need to restore balance with the natural world through decisive action on climate change and restoring biodiversity.
So notice how they're tying this all back to climate change. How they're tying it back to climate change. Can you legitimately make that argument? I could say it could be a result of increased encroachment upon natural environments, but what's that got to do with climate change? But there's a narrative that's put here. I can't imagine there'd be counter-arguments put forward in this forum. I think they would stamp it out. Stamp it out.
If we look at the planet as if it were a patient, we can see that our activities have been damaging her immune system, and she has been struggling to function and thrive due to the strain we have put on her vital organs.
The world is greener now than it has been in a long time. There's more forests around the world that are not being used. In the Middle Ages, there was more industrialization of the wood forests in Europe than there is now. You've got to be skeptical of these narratives.
To treat her, we need to restore balance and put nature back at the center of the circle. And to achieve this, we must act for health and well-being, understand nature's patterns and cycles, recognize the value of diversity, unity, and the interdependence of all living things, consider the importance of innovation and adaptation, and invest in nature-based solutions to help stimulate a more circular bioeconomy that gives back to nature as much as we take from her.
It's happening. It's happening. Pollution is significantly less. The environment is improving. Technology is improving. We'll get there. You don't need to kill so many people by shutting down the world. to push it through. This feels like it's an opportunist. You can't let an opportunity go to waste. This could be their great opportunity that they've been preparing for, hoping for, to jump onto, to take advantage of. I mean, who's a Republican now? Put your hands up in the chat, guys. I mean, what do you reckon? If he gets in, the Republican movement will grow in Australia? They bloody well have to, don't they? They've got to. It's got to grow.
Now, I can only hope that as this current crisis passes, we are able to reflect on and shape the type of world we want for ourselves and for future generations. The 75 years after the Second World War saw unprecedented growth, rising longevity, and poverty reductions. But all this put an overwhelming strain on our environment. The good news is that we have many of the solutions to hand. Renewable energy is now cheaper than fossil fuels. Our agriculture and land use can be more resilient, healthy and productive if we do not degrade our land, destroy our forests, and poison our water. Unfortunately, we so often forget that we are profoundly dependent on nature for our lives and livelihood. So, how do we balance the need to rebuild economic prosperity, the need to get people back to work against environmental concerns? Investing sustainably now can be a fast, efficient, and attractive way to reboot our economy. Therefore, what should be the principles that underlie the reshaping of a new and better global economic system? To seize this window of opportunity, I believe we need to do 5 things. First of all, to create momentum for the Great Reset, we need to capture the imagination and will of humanity. We will only change if we really want to change. Secondly, the global economic recovery must set us on a new trajectory of sustainable employment, of livelihoods and economic growth. To achieve scale, we must not be afraid to reorientate our long-standing incentive structures, which have been having such perverse effects on our planetary environment and on nature herself, if we are to reap the benefits afforded by a more sustainable world. Thirdly, we must redesign systems and pathways to advance net zero transitions globally. And in this regard, carbon pricing can form a critical pathway to genuinely sustainable markets.
Oh, of course. Taxes, carbon taxes. That's the solution. We can tax our way to prosperity. What are we thinking, guys? Come on. What are we thinking? Taxes.
This reset moment is our opportunity to accelerate and align our efforts to create truly global momentum. Countries, industries, and businesses moving together can create efficiencies and economies of scale that will allow us to leapfrog our collective progress and accelerate our transition.
Accelerate our transition, leapfrog our collective progress. Cool. Oh, well, individual liberty has been a great little experiment. Give us plebs a bit of a turn at it. What do you reckon? A technocratic serfdom in the next century? Why not?
Fourthly, we must reinvigorate science, technology, and innovation. This crisis has shown the importance of investing in science, technology, and innovation. We are on the verge of catalytic breakthroughs that will alter our view of what is possible and profitable within the framework of a sustainable future. And fifthly, we must rebalance investment. Accelerating sustainable investment could offer significant economic growth and employment opportunities, including in green energy, the regeneration of nature and landscapes, circular bioeconomy, ecotourism, and green public infrastructure.
It all sounds good, doesn't it? But when you actually pull it apart and have a look at it, this just screams of tremendous economic and governmental intervention in our day-to-day lives.
It is time, therefore, to align sustainable solutions with funding in a way that can transform the marketplace. this would be the most dramatic act of responsible leadership ever seen by the global private sector, and would at once provide a catalytic incentive for the public sector to follow. We have a golden opportunity to seize something good from this crisis. Its unprecedented shockwaves may well make people more receptive to big visions of change, and global crises like pandemics and climate change know no borders and highlight just how interdependent we are as one people sharing one planet. Over the past month or so, despite the ongoing crisis, I've been encouraged to see the growing calls for a green recovery. We need only look to the United Nations Secretary General, to the IMF, the EU, the Petersburg Climate Dialogue, the Canadian government, the COP26 Universities Network, and business leaders around the world to see this. And as we move from rescue to recovery, therefore, we have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path.
Time bars, everyone. Time bars. You're running out of time. It's that old marketing pressure trick right there. Time bars. Time bars.
It is an opportunity we have never had before and may never have again. So we must use all the levers we have at our disposal, knowing that each and every one of us has a vital role to play. Everything I have tried to do and urge over the past 50 years has been done with our children and grandchildren in mind. So I can only encourage us all to think big and act now.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy a merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.